In the morning, bring me word of your unfailing love. May the first light bring tidings of your soon coming.
The 1000 Missionary Movement is a self-supporting ministry dedicated to advancement of God's work around the world. We work in conjunction with the Seventh-day Adventist Church at the local as well as at the General Conference level. Our missionaries are sent out through the Adventist Volunteer Services Department at the General Conference. We are also grateful to be members of the Adventist Laymen's Services and Industries Ministries. Our motto is, dedicate 1 year to the Lord. The 1000 Missionary Movement has only existed in North America since 1997. Over 250 missionaries have been trained and have served in over 20 different countries.
Our young people are being taken into a direction that's not what Christ wants them to be involved in. And the opportunity that we at 1000 Missionary Movement affords them is an opportunity of a lifetime. It's an experience that can never be exchanged for anything, especially serving abroad as a missionary. For one, you grow richer with experience, and you grow richer spiritually as well.
The purpose of the 1000 Missionary Movement North America is threefold. First, it is to provide our youth, and those who feel young at heart, a program that involves them and activates an experience with God. Second, it is to enable returning missionaries to give back to their home churches. Third, it is to assist the church in the spreading of the gospel through a full-hearted devotion to God. This is why we can only exist through an active connection with the Seventh-day Adventist Church. We believe through involvement, our youth will not stray, and our hope is that they will learn to give the loud cry of the three angels' messages.
I was actually going to go back into medical school, but I just felt the Lord knocking on the door, and I felt like this would be the only time in my life that I can make a serious decision to give something to the Lord. And sure enough, the Lord brought me on a mission field for close to 4.5 years. So I was very, very grateful, and I'm going back into the medical field and continue with my studies, and then come back out and doing something special, purposeful for God. Once a missionary, always a missionary.
1000 Missionary Movement North America is currently located in Owensboro, Kentucky. There, we provide 2 training sessions per year, one in the winter and another in the summer. The 1-year missionary commitment consists of 1 month of training and 11 months of service overseas. Those who attend a session receive training in various aspects. Each weekend, the trainees are responsible for putting on a program at a different church. Each take turns sharing their testimony, presenting special music, or telling the children's story. Training also includes spending a day doing some type of local outreach, such as volunteering at a community center. Basic canvassing techniques are also taught before sending them into the surrounding towns for literature evangelism. Time is spent each week in useful labor for work education, as well as exercise and recreation. Each session is also given the task of preparing a weekend evangelistic program in a neighboring town. Every aspect of training is preparation for the mission field, including the mealtime menu and eating utensils. Our training offers numerous lectures from retired professors and dedicated pastors. The topics covered include cultural adaptation, a brief overview of doctrines, how to give Bible studies, health and basic natural remedies, child evangelism, and of course, how to develop a personal relationship with Jesus Christ.
To make God real from here, out here, we need to go serve.
Each trainee is requested to contribute towards their expenses an $850 training fee, along with a $50 visa application fee. Each is required to arrange for their transportation to the training center, as well as pocket money for such things as laundry during training. We commit to providing each missionary with airfare to and from the mission field, as well as room and board, and a monthly stipend during their term. Once training has been completed, each trainee is assigned to a mission field. This is done through the requests made with the Adventist Volunteer Services from churches all over the world. Current needs and the missionary's preference are taken into consideration during this process, as well as our burden for those countries found within the 1040 window. Once the Adventist Volunteer Services vote and approve the assignment, insurance is supplied through risk management at the General Conference. During their time overseas, their local supervisor delegates some core responsibilities for the missionary to conduct. In addition, we strongly encourage each to develop their own personal ministry with the rest of the time they are given each week. Such responsibilities and ministries include, but are not limited to, teaching English, children's programs, Bible studies, Pathfinder programs, friendship evangelism, English camps, local church youth group activities, ways to support fellow missionaries in the area, and community programs involving children and their parents. This is a time of accelerated spiritual growth for the missionary. Many return conveying their conviction that they received so much more than they gave. They are convinced that the rewards greatly outweigh the sacrifices they made, and that this is the true reason God had sent them overseas. What an encouragement to know that lives are being changed through the process of changing lives. Over the years, our returning missionaries have shared with us the great lessons they have learned during their time in the mission field. They have taken up the motto, "Once a missionary, always a missionary." They have come back sharing not what they have done, but rather testifying to what they have witnessed God do.
If you saw something good in me, I give the glory to Him.
Some have found that just by making oneself available to be used by God, He will send to them those who are ready to hear the truth. But one thing we have seen is that God tailors each experience to the individual needs and spiritual growth. The work that is done through our missionaries is one of seed sowing. It is work with the children. It is influencing the local church members to be active. It is the example they give to the friends that they make. We have seen that churches with assigned missionaries are more active in evangelizing their neighbors and friends than those churches who do not have missionaries. Through assisting the church in their already established missionary programs, the local members accept and supply the needs of those who are brought in by their missionaries.